Now in today's video we're going to rank the 2021 Formula 1 liveries from worst to best in this video. Hopefully you guys agree with my, let's say, thoughts and opinions. If not, then feel free to disagree. That's what the comment section down below is there for. So let's get a healthy discussion going in the comment section down below. If you're going to enjoy the video, then leave a like, and if you disagree, then feel free to leave a dislike, but let me know your reasons why in the comments down below. But anyway guys, we're going to rank these liveries from worst to best. I'm not an expert, I've made some liveries of my own. I'll leave them linked up in the top right hand corner, especially with the Ferrari and the Mercedes, and you're going to see what I think of each one in this video. If you guys want to see more content like this, then get subscribed guys, it really helps me out. I'm trying to hit 60,000 subs on the channel, so any help would be massively appreciated. And yeah, let's jump into it and let's see what I think are the worst to best liveries of Formula 1 2021. Now, I've given this video a bit of time because I wanted to see the pictures of the cars on track, not just the studio images. And now we've actually had the Bahrain test, we've seen the cars in all their glory. In my opinion, the worst looking car on the grid at number 10 is going to be Williams. I feel like it looked a lot worse in the studio render shots. On track, it looks a lot better, but the livery still looks a bit of a mess. It's a bit inconsistent. The yellow is a bit all over the place. The engine cover has potential, but they've made a mess of the placement of the William logos and also the Lavazza sponsor. The way that the kind of black just cuts off the blue design at the bottom of the car. There's a lot of things that don't add up with the Williams car. So for me, it goes in at number 10, but it looks a lot better on track than it did in the studio renders. Number 9, I'm going to say the Mercedes. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't look that much better on track. There were some flattering angles, with certain renders that we saw of the car, but in general, it's quite tough to, rank a car that has turquoise and burgundy together quite high anyway. You combine that with the AMG sticker bomb this year, and for me, the livery is just an L. It doesn't really change too much from studio pictures to on track. It looks more or less the same. So for me, the Mercedes is in at number 9, a big downgrade and probably their worst car since 2010, if I'm being honest. Above Mercedes, I have gone for Ferrari, and the reason I've gone for that is because we have to consider, and I'm going to base myself on this, that this season, for the majority of races, we will not see the Mission Winnow in green. Therefore, if you take that off the car and look at the car in its base form, it's a pretty decent looking car, but there's one big issue, and that's the gradient from red to burgundy, which just doesn't work. It doesn't look right. It's too aggressive, it's too sudden. It needs to be worked more progressively. I did a redesign of the Ferrari guys, I'll leave it linked up in the top right, along with also my Mercedes redesign as well. So I've given those cars, both of them, a bit of a makeover and just some small adjustments of what I would have changed, and hopefully that would help make delivery a much more well presented and much more higher scoring livery compared to what they are in real life. So for me, the Ferrari goes in at number 8. Unfortunately, both Ferrari and Mercedes, compared to like 2019, they've taken a big step downhill in the last couple of years. So yeah, they're 9th and 8th at the minute on this list. In 7th place, I've gone for the Alpha Tauri. Now for me, it's definitely a different livery compared to last year. I can't lie, I think I prefer the Toro Rosso from 2019, and before that I think the best livery they've had recently was the 2018 car, I believe, or 2017, in that kind of that time frame. But having said that, there are some things I like. I think it's quite different. The white wheels are definitely fresh, something different. We don't see that often in Formula 1 anymore, but I do believe there was some potential kind of left on the table with this one. I think they could have done a bit better. There were some better options out there. People made some good designs. I think for me, if they'd kind of mixed this design with last year's car, there was a much stronger package. So essentially, if they kept the white stripe kind of underneath the bottom half of the car, but combined the AlphaTauri logo on the engine cover with last year's design, the way they did it, I think it would look a lot better as a package. I think Tomo did a great job of redesigning the AlphaTauri on his channel, so I'll leave a link down below in the description guys to that video. But yeah, for me, AlphaTauri goes in at P7. Now those were the bottom ones. And for me, those are kind of, let's say, quite decently in the bottom half for me. The AlphaTauri is kind of in between, but the Ferrari, Mercedes, Williams are definitely, lower half. For me, in 6th place, I've gone for the Haas. Now, hear me out before you dislike the video. Let me just explain my reason for this. Now, in the basis of this video, we're talking about livery, so I've taken politics and controversy out of the picture here. So I'm just looking at the livery by itself, and the house for me looks pretty decent. I don't think it looks better on track compared to the renders. It's one of the few cars that I think look better in the studio render shots than on track, but I think this car has a lot of potential in terms of looks. There would have been one small change I would have made, and for me, on the engine cover and also on the side of the car, there's a little thin red stripe which basically creates separation in the white and basically gives a hint that there's a Russian flag on the car. So for me, if they just got rid of that little red stripe and just kept like a nice little duotone red and blue stripe along the entire car, that would be a lot better and a lot more cleaner. But for me, Haas still looks pretty decent, so I'm putting them in 6th place. And now we're kind of breaking into the higher, rankings here. So for me, P5 is going to be McLaren. Now, this one splits opinion because they kept the livery pretty much the same as last year. But for me, I like it. I think it looks really good. I don't think it's their best livery. I think their best livery in recent times was 2019. But having said that, this year's livery is a refinement on last year, a little bit more blue, some small adjustments. They've kept the rainbow, which I really like on the engine cover. So for me, McLaren goes in at number 5. It just looks like a nice, well-presented, well-packaged car. It kind of ticks all the boxes for what a nice, standard, decent-looking F1 car and F1 team should look like. So for me, that car goes in at P5. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's kind of in the middle, and that's kind of where I judge McLaren. We're starting to get there now, so for me, in 4th place, as we start to reach the top, for me it's Red Bull. I like the Red Bull this year. It's a bit of an iconic livery, but the very small adjustments they've made this year make this livery very, very tasty. I actually think the loss of Aston Martin as a sponsor has made the car look a lot better. They've basically replaced everything with Honda logos and Honda sponsoring, and it really works well. I think the rear wing in black is a really little nice detail compared to last year that I really, really like. And the livery as a whole just kind of flows together a lot nicer. A nice big prominent fat Honda logo on the nose as well, which is really, really good. It lets you know exactly what that team's about. And I just think the way they've kind of just reshuffled, tweaked the sponsors and just kind of refined the livery is a big, big plus. You combine that with, of course, the skinny nose, which is not what this video is about, but it just helps make the car look a lot better. And for me, the Red Bull is P4. I think it's fantastic, and I really, really like it. And the little black hints really elevate this livery for me into the top 4. And now here is the main event of the video. Now, the top 3 are in a different category to everybody else, and I'm pretty sure you know who they are because I've not mentioned them yet. And to be fair, I've got to be honest, every day I wake up, I kind of change opinion, and you could put any three of these in any order, and I wouldn't be mad, because for me, all 3 of them look absolutely insane. But for the purpose of this video, I've come up with my final ranking, and I'm going to say in 3rd place is going to be Alfa Romeo. And the reason I've gone for that is because if I'm being really critical, there's some very small things I would have changed. Like, for example, I think the halo in white would have looked a lot better maybe. It would have been a lot more consistent. There was also a possible render with basically more red running down the side, from the side pod down to the nose. Shout out to Sam Carpenter on Twitter for that one. He made a really good design, which I'll try and find and bring up on screen shortly. But little things they could have maybe tweaked to give it some real nice potential. But for me, even the Alfa as it is right now looks fantastic. It's by far the in the top 3, and it's a really, really nice livery, and apparently it's pretty quick as well. So when the car looks good, it usually is fast, so that's great to see. And for me, Alfa is in at 3rd place. And now for the top 2, and for this video I have gone for Aston Martin in 2nd place, and the reason for that is because of the pink. Now don't get me wrong, they've done a good job, it looks great, I really like the car, the pink works quite well actually, but if it had been the fluorescent yellow, I probably would have edged it to number 1. For me, the Aston Martin works really well. There's some subtle hints which I really like in the livery, like a bit of like a wing kind of running along the side of the engine cover in a bit of a darker green, which is not very apparent. I personally love the numbers. I think they're really, really nice, and all the placement of the sponsors works really well. It's a very clean, well presented livery, but for me, it comes in at 2nd place. And for me, the pink doesn't fully work, but it still looks very, very good. But also in terms of creativity, it's not as creative as number 1, because number 1 is of course the Alpine, and the Alpine this year by far is one of the most different looking cars compared to last season. It looks incredible. The kind of satin metallic matte blue finish, electric blue, looks incredible. It bounces off the red so well, and there's a nice bit of black in there as well to kind of break it up, and some hints of white, and for me it just looks fantastic. I love the look of the car. It's complemented quite decently by the skinny nose that they adopted last year as well, and for me it's the best looking car on the grid. I think, you know, many of you won't disagree with the top three, maybe in the order, but the top three is the top three, and the Alpine is P1 for me because it just works. There's so much I love about the car, the sponsor placement, the way they've made the little details. It just flows, works together beautifully, and I've got no complaints with it being P1 on my list because the Alpine looks incredible. But there we go, guys. That is it for my ranking for this video. Give me your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Let's try and have a healthy discussion debate. No need to get aggressive, you know, or critical or personal. Let's have a little bit of fun, and I want to see what you guys think. So leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you disagree, then feel free to dislike, but let me know in the comments down below why you did so. Subscribe for more videos like this, and let me know what other content you'd like to see me do regarding the real life season. And once again, the liveries that I've made myself are linked up in the top right. As always, thanks to the members of the channel for supporting. I really appreciate it. And finally, check out the 2 videos on screen right now if you haven't seen them. But guys, that is it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time.